Video, I spent a few minutes showing you how to manage and analyze a community in eCairn Conversation. Before, I'd like to recommend you check our online self-help center and watch another video called How to Find Relevant Sources. Because here, I will focus mainly on ways to understand my community and not on how to populate it. Okay, well, let's take this project targeting the mobile wireless community as an example. The community tab is my focus here. In the community tab, I can do all kinds of things. I can see who are the top influencers in my community, or I can display a map of the community. Note, this functionality requires a standard or premium license level. I can also categorize sources using labels and values. I can filter my list with a wide range of criteria, and then I can manage my list. I can add sources, I can delete, I can export. So let's look at the basic first. The community tab is divided into two panes. The list pane, where I can add, view details, export any entries in the list. It's organized in pages of 20 entries, and any page can be accessed by clicking on the page number at the top right of the pane. The filter pane is used to filter. You can filter using criteria such as topic, influence, source type, and more. eCairn Conversation aggregates detailed information about each source in what is called the source card. Here I can find traffic information, page rank, publishing history, and I can also store personal information if I have them. Also, there is a built-in algorithm that calculates an influence score for each source, which is a number between 0 and 100, and also assign a level of influence amongst 3 possible choices. By default, my list is sorted by descending influence level, with the dark blue icon for the high influencers, the medium blue for the magic middle, and the light one for the long tail influencers. I can filter my list on high, medium, or low by selecting or deselecting those buttons. But there is more. eCairn Conversation enables me to find out who is talking about my brand, my competitors, or specific topics I care about. A prerequisite is that I have configured topics corresponding to what interests me in the Conversations tab. And then I use the by topic filter to see who is talking about me. For example, here, I'm looking at the brand HTC Android, and I can find out who has been talking about this brand, as well as how many times each of the entry I've talked about this brand. I can organize my list by influence if I want, and still see how often they've mentioned my brand. So this is something I can use to determine the share of mind of my brand, but you can also find out who are the experts in anything you want. For example, here I want to see who are the experts on mobile Chrome, and here they are. Very useful, isn't it? The list view is okay, but behind the scenes, those individuals are connected with each other. The good news is that eCairn allows you to see the interconnectedness of the community or a subset of it. As an example, let's look at the map of the medium influencers. First, I need to narrow my list to keep only the medium influencers. Once it's done, I select all my sources, click on View Graph, and I will forget those groups, that group functionality for now, and I click on View Graph. And here I go, a separate browser window opens, and I see a map of my community. And the colors that you see on this screen corresponds to two different clusters, showing how those subgroups are connected with each other. Now let's go back to the grouping feature. So for example, I'm going to create a first group for HTC Android and a second group for Motorola Android. And again, I click on View Graph. And I see my map with a different coloring because the coloring is done according to the grouping I configured. So the yellow ones are blogs that talk both about HTC and Motorola. The blue ones, none of them. And if I want to go back to the cluster view, I can do that in one click. Here you go. Other functionality is to see the neighborhood of a particular source, like that. And I can also see who is the most influential source in a cluster, with the little number here being the influence level. Now this is the end of part 1 of our video on understanding and analyzing your community in eCairn Conversation.